Yo, what's up, everybody? There's a little bit of delay there. It took forever for people to show up. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? So, as the title of this stream suggests, is here hanging out, chilling with you all. Just want to I don't know, take some time to just interact with you all. It's been a while since I've done a stream of any sort. Yeah, man, I just figured I'd just sit down and just answer questions or just hang out with you guys. I got some time to kill, and why not spend this Saturday afternoon with you all and just chill, all right? So hope you guys are all doing well, and let's just hang out, all right? Good to see some familiar faces. Got Tone Wars, Mike Ball, what's up, dude? The PRS master himself. Brian, looking big, bro. Ah, thanks, man. It's just good lighting. it's the constant year-round tan, you know what I mean? Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Oh, super chat from Ross. Thank you so much. $4.99. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Very, very sweet of you. Very gracious of you. Super chats are never expected, but are always welcome. Helps out the channel, but just thank you. I really appreciate that. Big Church 118. Yo, what's good, brother? I'm doing well. How are you, man? Good to see you, buddy. How's things in your neck of the woods? It's been a while since we've done a lesson or just hung out and chatted. You know what I mean? Glitch Gaming Ray, what's up? The Metal God 100. What is up, Ray? Not too much, man. Got my Balaguer Toro Baritone that I can barely fit into frame because it's like as tall as I am. I just finished up my final track for my album today, actually, ironically enough. I finished up my solo, and then I got to ship it out to Fernando. He just played a show with Lions at the Gate at the Whiskey A Go Go with Tatiana from Ginger, so congrats to that dude. And I mean, that's big, big business. That's super rad. Anyway, yeah, so I got to get a PayPal invoice from him, ship off the track, and then, it's probably my favorite one, so that'll probably be out first. So it's going to be a quick turnaround. I wrote it yesterday. Finished recording, I should say. I wrote it years ago, but I finished recording it yesterday. And then did the final touches today, and then I just got to ship it off. So very stoked on that one. The shirt is epic. Ah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. So hyped for that album and a physical release. Oh, thank you, Leo. Yeah, so in case you guys are unaware, June 24th, Chronic Pain, that's the name of my solo album, my first ever official solo album. I've had like DIY projects and stuff throughout the years, but this is like my first ever legitimate solo project that I could be happy and proud of. So that'll be out June 24th. So there's going to be staggered releases of the album in terms of like we're going to do CDs because people still like CDs to have. They're less expensive to not only produce but also to purchase. But then also too, there's going to be some vinyl as well. Going to do some like 7-inch singles. I'm not sure about 10-inch stuff because it's all about duration of time. But definitely want to get the full-on 12-inch, out as well. So that'll be a huge monumental thing for me as well as everybody. So everybody who's like stoked on the project, I mean. So those will be all extremely limited. They won't be mass-produced because, this is all independently funded by myself. No Kickstarter or GoFundMe or anything like that. Just didn't feel like it was appropriate. But with that being said, I just want to keep everything very limited and very like niche and like, how do I say this? Like if we do a limited run of like, let's say the first single on a 7-inch, that's what I really want to do. Like this is the first one out, boom. I want to do it like labeled 1 through 10, hand write 1 through 10 on them, and then sell them, and then that'll be it. That'll be like the first 10. It'll be cool. It'll be sentimental. It'll be like, a special thing. And then same with the 12-inch, and then same with the CDs, and, all encompassing. So I really want to do it right and well, and I want to be very proud of the whole process as well. So, hey, Robert, so glad you're doing well, brother. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, doing great. Doing very, very well, physically, mentally, spiritually, completely. So thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. Really appreciate your support. 2 days after my birthday, quite excited. Well, hey, that'll be 2 days after. So it'll be a belated birthday present. Will it be a purely instrumental album? Yes. So this is the first time I failed to mention that in my announcement video, and yeah, purely instrumental. You know, several of you have said like, "Oh, you have a great voice" or whatever, and that's really kind of you. But not gonna lie, if it's not Joey Sturgis gain reduction, I don't like the way my screams sound or anything like that. Gain reduction's like my favorite vocal compressor. But anyway, also too, I'm not good at writing lyrics. I think everything that I write lyrically is very corny and cheesy. So like, you know, I can't write lyrics and be proud of them. So it's all instrumental, and that's something that I'm, you know, very familiar with as I record and write almost every single day for demos and stuff. So it's just like I've been stockpiling ideas to now I want to get it out to like, I think the album's going to be 8 songs. They're like 8 long songs. And then I have like 10 other ones that are like still on the back burner. So, yeah. Hope that answers your question. Ross, hey, thank you so much. $8.99. What is your favorite band, and what would you love to be a part? And would you love to be a part of it if you could be a part of it? Good question. Hey Tim, what's up? Tim Thomas, what's up, man? Favorite band. Favorite band of all time is probably, it's between like 3 or 4 picks, but today, right now, I'm in a huge Van Halen mood. So Van Halen is probably my favorite band of all time. Slipknot's in there, Led Zeppelin's in there, and the Sex Pistols are in there as well. But would I be a part of any of them? Nah, they're too iconic. They're too like legendary. If I was to ever join a band again, I'd love to be in a band again. Who wouldn't? I guess. Well, depends on who you ask. If I would want to join a band, I would want to be like a more modern and/or up and coming band. Because as soon as you join a band that's already like at like, let's go down this rabbit hole of being in Van Halen, right? You know, one could dream, right? I'm just saying, like, as soon as you get into like a band that's established, you're automatically compared to what came before, like Roth and Hagar. Then when David Lee Roth went solo, Steve Vai and Eddie Van Halen. It's just like, you know, you're always comparing. So, for my own individual self, I'd want to be on something a little bit new and fresh and or up and coming. Hope that makes sense. Hope that answers your question. Good question. I mean, Korn had a very corny song talking about... Yeah, that's true. Can't argue that, but that song's great. I love that song. Hey, Ray, any chance you've played the Balaguer BB baritone? No. Nope. The only Balaguer baritone I've ever played is this one. The one that they made for me. Yeah, this is the only one. And honestly, this and my Squire kind of tarnished all baritones. Because they sound... The Jazzmaster pickups just sound so unique and such low tuning. It's hard to get that sound and or accustomed to that sound if I don't have this setup. I'm very like attached to this setup and this sound. It's become like my thing, you know what I mean? So I haven't really tried other baritones, especially from Balaguer, because I like this one, you know what I mean? Hey Casey, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. If you had to choose between Jackson or ESP, what would you choose and why? Thank you for what you do, bro. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat. Very, very kind of you. Awesome. Tigers would. I like turtles. I don't know why I saw that was funny. Jackson or ESP? Such a hard question, man. I'm going to go ESP because, in modern times, because ESP seems to be like the more innovative and newer brand, where Jackson, just from hearing, you know, public opinions online and stuff, seems like Jackson's struggling a little bit all of a sudden. Over the last couple of years, they really haven't been doing that well, and haven't been perceived that popular. You know, you're allowed to make your own decisions and stuff like that, as am I, obviously. But I just think ESP is just like kind of pushing the envelope with like stainless steel frets. Fishmans are all over the place, ebony boards, all the above, relatively cheap in their LTD lineup. That being said, I think Jackson looks cooler and has cooler like reputation. Like Jackson just looks rad. Like Jackson King V's, they look sick, dude. Wes Borland plays Jackson. Mark Morton plays Jackson. Phil Collin from Def Leppard plays Jackson. Like all these rad people play Jackson. So Jacksons look cool and have like cool artists. Phil Demmel is another one. Nick Thompson, duh. But ESP, I think, is just better specs. You know, that's just one man's opinion on the spot. So, hey, Pacific. Hey, what's up? Pacific Arc TIG Welding. What's up, dude? Stoked to hear your album. Hey, thank you so much. I'm really, really excited to announce it. And, well, not announce it, release it. Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit. I decided on June 24th, and I regret it because it's so far away. But I needed the time to promote it and make sure all the ducks are in a row, as they say. Those strap locks, though. Yeah, I ripped that off from Eddie and West Borland. I didn't come up with that myself. Not pretending like I made that up. I got it more or less from West Borland because in that one My Guitar video or whatever, where like he's talking about his lefty King V. He said he had strap locks, but he kept ripping them out. And I had the exact same problem. I kept ripping out my strap locks because if you guys have seen me play live, I jump around like an idiot and like they would just wiggle out like immediately. So I went to Lowe's, went to the hardware section, found some eye screws and just cranked them in on almost half of my guitars, and now I love it, you know what I mean? What's the neck profile like on your Balaguer guitars? Good question. Before I go any further, vinyl for sure? Question mark. Vinyl for sure. Period. Singles 7 inches and 12-inch LPs staggered throughout the year. My neck profile on my Balaguer. Now, if I had to pick one thing to do differently on this guitar, it would be the neck profile. The neck profile is like, I think, a D shape. It feels like a half pipe. It's very like boxy, you know, it's like flat and then very sharp on the edges. It's not like a smooth like contour. And that's the only thing I wish I could have changed. But I didn't know because I didn't I didn't have the ability to like A/B stuff, you know what I mean? I guess I could have asked, you know, Balaguer, hindsight's 2020, but I like my Squire baritone neck better. That's like a traditional Fender type of feel. Whereas this one feels like a half pipe. Like, does that make sense? It's like it's like a box. It's the only thing I wish I could change. Go Chase Elliott. Hell yeah. Hey, they're at Dover tomorrow. They're right down the road from me. I'm near Wilmington in Philadelphia, so they're not too far away. I wanted to go, but I don't think I'm going to because I don't have anybody to go with. Hey, Tone Wars. Oh, dude, Tone Wars, thank you so much, bud. Glad you're okay and out of that situation. You handled it very well. Thank you, man. You and I have talked privately, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. I don't want to open that can of worms because it's a bummer, but thank you so much. Hey, $5 super chat. Get a pair with Sully. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for all your super chats. It means the world to me. It really does. I recommend a couple small pedal companies. Great tones with This Heavy Earth and Black Arts Toneworks. Semper Fidelis from This Marine. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for your service. I'm going to screenshot that so it'll be on my desktop so I don't forget that. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Very cool. I'll have to check that stuff out. Chasing the Monster Mile. Yeah, dude. Dover Downs, the Monster Mile. It's right down the road. I want to go to the race tomorrow, but I don't know. I don't really have anybody to go with. Do you like metal keyboardists? I've never had that question ever. Not trying to spam, just in case you missed it. I apologize if you asked it multiple times that I did miss it. I honestly couldn't name one metal keyboardist. Like the one guy in Dream Theater is super crazy, but I don't know his name. Balls from Motionless in White or Formula Motionless in White. I mean, he was kind of cool. I don't know. I'm obviously pretty naive on metal keyboardists. Good question, though. Bro, you need to try a red layer guitar. They are amazing. I have a 7 and it's better than any Kiesler Strandberg I've had. That's a bold statement, but I believe you. Red layer. I'm going to screenshot that. Boom. Red light. I'm going to take a look at that. Much love from Germany. Hey, I used to live in Germany. What's up? You ever come to Fort Bragg for anything military related? I want to say I was there briefly, but I can't remember for what. It obviously wasn't for anything cool. I think I was, but like I said, it wasn't for like a... Nah. I don't remember. I don't think so, though. I don't remember. I have to look at my DD214 or my, like, ERB or ORB or whatever. My orders. Thoughts on Breaking Benjamin? I like, I think it's called Follow or whatever. That's cool. But, I don't know. They're kind of just like a radio rock band for me. Nothing against them. It's just, they kind of blend in with, like, the Seethers and the, like, what's that other band? Crossfade or whatever, Three Doors Down. You know, like that whole, our local radio station's 93.3 WMMR, Phillies Rock. And they play a lot of that stuff. And that's cool. It's just, I don't know, not really my thing, you know what I mean? I'm weird. I'm like classic rock to like metal. And like the spectrum in the middle, I don't really listen to that much. With the exception of like Creed. I live in Germany. Where were you stationed? I was stationed in Vilseck, Germany, 2CR, 2nd Cav. That's where I was. Flew in from DC to Ramstein, then took up like a 4-hour bus ride, if I remember correctly. What kind of hobbies do you have outside playing guitar? Good question, Wayne. So, apart from guitar and YouTube, that's like my hobby and my job and my passion. I like to go to the gym and do physical stuff. I'm very fortunate enough to where recently that's become more of a thing in the sense that I've had so many damn operations, like half my elbow's missing, like my funny bone's over here and all that, and like I just had another shoulder surgery, blah blah blah. So I've been, for the past, ever since my whole YouTube channel basically, I've been like recovering and trying to get healthy, and I finally am in a spot where like I'm content and I can do physical stuff again. So like today I went for a bike ride, and then I went to LA Fitness and just did chest today. You know, I mean, nothing crazy, but that's like my main hobby. But honestly, I've never really been like a hobby guy. I've been like one of those people. It's like it's a huge flaw of mine, I think. Where like if I do something, I do it 100%, or I don't do it at all, because like I get so obsessed with things. That's like why I don't play video games, because I know if I played video games, I'd be obsessed with playing video games, and then I'd be like, I want to start a video game channel or whatever. Like, I would become obsessed with it. So, I try to limit my attention span to stuff, because it becomes like an obsessive thing, and that's just a character flaw of mine. So, apart from going to the gym, I really don't have too many other hobbies. I can play pool a little bit. Pool's kind of cool, like billiards. But I kind of spend most of my time playing guitar and making videos, which is cool with me, you know what I mean? Patty Patterton. Hey, Ray. Hey, what's up? Favorite back exercise? Rows and pull. I love this conversation. This is an interesting conversation. Rows and pull-ups are getting a bit stale for me. Yeah, I don't like pull-ups. They hurt my shoulders. Favorite back, dude, does shrugs count? Like, I love shrugs. Or back when I was physically able to do them, like hang cleans, just like for like insane traps. That's like my favorite thing. And then I don't know, I kind of just like the classic lat pull down, like low weight, a lot of reps. It's kind of like one of my favorite back exercises. Great question though. I'm living near Ramstein, so I asked. Yeah. That's where I flew into from DC many years ago. How many metal shirts do you have? Oh, not too many. Nothing crazy. I have a lot of horror shirts, example A. I collect a lot of those. Just I like going to like horror conventions and stuff and buying them. And there's the one in Cherry Hill called Monster Mania, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I buy a lot of horror movie shirts. That's like my thing. Minimalism and curation of lifestyle is good like that. Information overload too common these days. Oh, well, thanks, John. I never thought of it that way. I guess, right? You know, we have so much bombardment every single second of every day. Can't be great at everything or be obsessed with everything. Good question. As soon as metalcore really took off around 2003, I wasn't paying attention to new metal and butt rock much anymore. Very true. Also from John. Yeah, metalcore took over my life in like the mid to late 2000s. Like August Burns Red, Parkway Drive, Asking Alexandria, old Bring Me the Horizon, you know, Suicide Season, that kind of Bring Me the Horizon. That was rad. And most of those bands aren't doing that anymore, except August Burns Red. They're like still the only metalcore band that'd be doing metalcore. It's kind of funny how that worked. Ross, $5 or €5, I believe. If that's the correct currency. Thank you so much. Do you watch wrestling? I don't anymore, but when I was in like kindergarten and first grade, I was obsessed with, you know, like the Attitude Era of the WWF before it was the WWE. Like, Stone Cold and The Rock and The Undertaker, Kane, you know, Mankind. That whole era was so rad. Like the Hell in the Cell era, the Buried Alive matches, the cage matches. Like that was the cool stuff. And then obviously as you grow up, you realize that it's not real. And then I don't know. I never got like into like John Cena or Batista and all that. So I kind of lost interest like once the wrestlers of my youth really weren't doing it that much. Hey Ray, hey, what's up? How are you? Hey Ray, how are you, man? I'm doing all right. How are you? Can't wait to grab the new album. Will there be any signed copies? Yes. So, good question. I didn't want to talk about it too much, but since you asked, what I want to do is like for people who want to purchase it, if you want me to sign it, I will, free of charge. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not egotistical enough to be like, oh, that'll cost you extra. That's ridiculous. The fact that you want to purchase it in the hard copy is amazing in its own right. So I'll reach out to you and say, hey, do you want me to sign it? And if you do, I will. And if not, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to scribble on something that you don't want, you know, to be scribbled on. So I won't sign them all. I'll sign them as you guys want to. You know what I mean? For free. And if you want it personalized, you can. If not, that's cool too. Just want to do what you, the customer, you, the friend, want. You know what I mean? Do you think you might try out some more solid state amps? Good question. Yes. So, the same thing I say with a lot of gear questions is like, would you try this or that? The answer is always yes. It's just time, money. I guess that's really it. More money than time, really, because everything just increased percentage-wise in terms of like the price tag by like 25%. That's not even guitar related. It's just life related, right? So. Yeah, I would love to. Like the Orange Super Crush from 100, that looks so cool. I mean, Randall has some solid states out there. I mean, my Victory Little Kraken is a solid state hybrid, and I love that thing. I have it hooked up right now. I've been recording with it and playing with it. So, you know. You listen to any Devin Townsend / Strapping Young Lad? Devin Townsend more than Strapping Young Lad. Devin Townsend, I mean, he's a, you know, what can I say that hasn't been said? He's a virtuoso and, you know, an amazing player. I listen to all the big guys, like the Steve Vais, the Jason Richardsons, the Satrianis, periodically when I'm looking for inspiration. Especially now being a solo artist. Wow, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, I'm a solo artist. But, I listen to them more or less as like inspiration, not as duplication, because I can't do that stuff and that's not my style anyway. But it's still inspiring to hear song structure and melody with, you know, the heavy hitters. So hope that answers your question. Good question. Hey Ray, just stopping in to say hey before I go paint my kitchen. Hey, I'm not jealous. Enjoy it. I did that in this house. Like 4 years ago, and it's rough, man. I painted this whole room. I got to do it again soon because I keep dinging the ceiling with my headstocks. Like whenever I'm shooting videos, it goes bam, and they all my guitars have like a white speck from where it hits the ceiling. How long have you been doing YouTube videos? How long have you been doing YouTube videos? Are you doing this for moolah or just a hobby? Okay. Well, thank you for your question. Yes, I am doing this for moolah. This is my job, my full-time job. I've been doing it for just over 5 years. It's been 5 years and 1 month. 5 years, 1 month yesterday, actually, if I got the date correct, something like that. And yeah, this is my main job. I don't have like a traditional like go to the office or like 9 to 5 or anything like that. I don't have a boss. But I have several sources of income, and I'm very thankful and appreciative of that. So yeah, this is it, man. This is what I do. All things music and guitar related, encompassing, helps me keep the lights on. And you guys giving super chats, for example, helps that. So thank you so much. Ross, thank you so much again. Oh my God, thank you. Really, really, really kind of you to help out today. What is your favorite guitar? And did wrestling training? It's hurt quite a bit. What's my favorite guitar? And I did okay. So you did wrestling training. So like wrestling, like the sport, or wrestling the entertainment. Both are equally as challenging, I think, for different reasons. But favorite guitar, I mean, it's gotta be this one right now. The Alligator guitars knocked it out of the park with this one. It's everything I could want in a 30-inch baritone. The only thing that's a little bit different is that I wish I could change is the neck profile, but that's just like a superficial, well, not superficial, like a nitpick kind of thing. Like it looks rad, it plays great, it sounds amazing. You know, this is my favorite, and then my favorite standard scale guitar is probably one of my Les Pauls, probably the 92 one, just because, I don't know, it's like old and I've had it for a while. I've had it for over half a decade, you know, things like that. So, but yeah, definitely this one, then the Squire, and then probably one of my Les Pauls. Hey, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. No question or anything attached to it, but that's okay. Just really appreciate your generosity. It means a lot to me. Why the hate on EMGs? Do people forget to turn the gain knob down on the amp? I don't know, man. That's a good question. At first I thought you said, why do I hate EMGs? I was like, I don't. I'm an EMG artist, and I love EMGs. But I don't know. You know, all the complaints about no dynamics and like compression and all that stuff that people say EMGs have are all the things that I want. Like, all the complaints are pros for me. Like, for example, no dynamics. Dude, I don't want dynamics. You know what I mean? Like, if you just play softer. Don't hit it as hard. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Compression. Good. That means you cut through in the mix better. Like, it means you're, you know, packing a punch with your guitar tone. It's very bizarre to me, like the complaints on EMGs. I think they sound amazing. And I've said this a million times. I love the sounds of Fishmans, but Fishmans are almost like too polished. It sounds like they have like post-processing on them, where I feel like EMGs sound more natural, if that's a word. Or like a correct, obviously it's a word, right? If that's a correct description. I feel like Fishmans, they sound almost fake in a way. Like they're so clean, and that should be a good thing, right? But I don't know, guitar tones and guitars in general are supposed to be inherently a little noisy and imperfect. So that's kind of like why I like EMGs as like my favorite active pickups. They just sound great. I just really enjoy them. So I don't know why the hate. Yeah, I don't know. And if you like passives, that's cool too. Like, I love passive pickups. I play passive pickups every single day as well. I don't know, man. I don't understand why we can't just like enjoy everything. Everything is amazing. You know what I mean? Give us more samples from the upcoming album. No way, dude. No way. I've already given away a lot, man. I already gave away like 7 seconds of sounds and tones and all that. That's enough. So I gave away 7 seconds. That means you have, give or take, 44 minutes and 53 seconds to go. I appreciate it, man, but nah, I can't, not yet. In time. The compressed EMG 81 tone is iconic and nice in certain contexts. Yeah, and if you don't like it, that's cool too. You know what I mean? But I think it sounds amazing. It is iconic. I think people don't like them because maybe they're like kind of cliche, which it's like the PV 5150 of pickups, and for that I could see that argument. You know what I mean? Do you like Doom Metal Ray? There's my second channel name, Doom Metal Ray. Yes and no. There's some Doom I like. I like the atmospheric stuff. A friend of mine turned me on to a band called Bell Witch, which is not really Doom. It's more like atmospheric stuff, but I really like that stuff. Like the straight up like Doom sludge, not necessarily per se, but I like atmosphere and texture and stuff like that. How long did your tats take to get? Oh, dude, a long time. And I'm not done. Like, I still got not touch-ups, but I still have more to do, like, on my sides and stuff. But this was done, here, this and this was done in just over a year. And, like, maybe 5 sessions, something like that. Long time. Madison, my tattoo artist, she's amazing. She's so rad, and she crushes it. Chugging out some metalcore riffs. Oh no, I just lost it. Oh, I can't find it. There it is. Chugging out some metalcore riffs on EMG 81 will never not feel good. Literally. Is Of the Sick totally over? Yeah, Of the Sick's gone. Yeah, that fell apart when the leader left years ago during 2020. Will you release a SIG model? I mean, a boy can dream, right? I would love to. I personally won't release it because, you know, I'm not trying to be silly, but I obviously don't have a guitar company, so it would have to be with a guitar company. If it would be right and it would be affordable for people to purchase and it'd be something that I would play and I'd be proud of, yeah, absolutely. Now, will that ever happen? I don't know. Boy can dream, right? Boy can dream. Maybe I love Balaguer. Maybe they'll do it one day. I'm on Balaguer's, artist roster, so who knows? Maybe someday. Have I tried bare knuckle pickups? Yes. So my other Balaguer has a Blackhawk in it. So this one, my vintage guy, my retro looking one, has a Blackhawk in it. I said it in the video with this guitar. I'll say it here. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Blackhawk. It's got a lot of treble leadness to it. So I have to use a thing called the tone knob to roll back off a little bit. But it's okay. I would like to try more bare knuckles. But the Blackhawk I just did Shot in the Dark, and it's just okay. Just okay. Here we go. EMG clean tones are frustrating and awful a lot of the times. But I don't necessarily disagree. I just don't agree. Because, I guess because I'm not, a clean tone connoisseur. If I need a clean tone with an EMG, to me it sounds fine. But that's just probably because I'm not super nitpicky with tone in general, but especially with clean tones. Do I know Chuck? I can never say his last name. Yeah, I'm very naive to it, but I'm familiar with, I believe he has the, that BC Rich guitar. I believe he's no longer alive. So to answer your question, do I know him? Not really. Know the name, and I think if I saw a picture of him, I'd recognize him, but not really familiar with him. Hey, what's up? The Iran Mexican, what's up? How are you, buddy? Despite that horrible mishap, your band killed it at Reno's. Get back to Dallas. Well, thank you. I know I personally did my best to play as best as I could, you know what I mean? But thank you. I really appreciate it. That's very kind of you, the super chat. It's very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much. Have I gotten around to fixing those EVA champs? These two are good. The black and gold one I haven't even touched. Because I never liked it really anyway. The red channel was rad, but the blue channel I never liked anyway. And I know people are saying there's like a mod you can do. You can like clip something, and dude, I'm not getting in there with like wire cutters. I barely know how to tie my shoes. You know what I mean? Like, I am so clumsy and so not like tech savvy, gracious, careful. I'm very clumsy and like good at breaking things, so I can't do any of my own mods. Hey Ross, thank you so much again. Thank you so much. Have you got any guests for your new album? Nope. Completely all by myself. I thought about having guests and all that, but I wanted it to be solely for myself. After the several years of being in bands and collabing, I did all that. That's fine. This is just a solely me thing, so I can rely solely on myself and Fernando. He's mixing it and helping and master it and all that stuff. But apart from like the creative thing, it's solely from here, and a little bit of, final touches from Fernando. I just wanted it to be something that I did and something I could be a part of. Guest solos and stuff will probably happen on the second one, because I already have a decent amount of material. I'd love to get some people on there as well for the second one. But I'll do that when I have more time. This was done in like January, February. I recorded it. Then it got mixed when I was away, when I was out of town. Came home, it arrived at my doorstep, so to speak. And so like now it's time to push it out. So when I have more time, I'll get guests on like the second one. Good question though. Hey, greetings from Ireland. Cheers from the United States. How are you? What's your go-to guitar tuning? Drop F. Hell yeah. Quad Cortex or Head Rush? Ooh. Good question. I played Fluff's Quad Cortex, like, he let me borrow it for like 5 days. And I remember it sounded really good and I really enjoyed it, but I was just not on the hype train that I was getting. It just was like another modeler. So, off the top of my head, Head Rush, because I have more familiarity for it and it's cheaper. But I think if I had to recall from my brain, I think Quad Cortexes sound a little bit better. But that's just like off the cuff, question. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, how's the mess? Bench press me at Palefest. Yeah, buddy. I hope you're feeling well, man. I'm going to text you back. I'm sorry I didn't get to text you back. So in case you guys are unaware, the House of Masks, AJ Good and the House of Masks are putting on a horror convention of sorts, a festival of sorts, in Chillicothe, Ohio, on Saturday, October 8th, 2022 this year. And I'll be there as a guest. I'm on the flyer. Like, what an honor, dude. Like, that's so crazy. So, I can't bench press. You weigh too much, dude. I'm not strong. I am not strong. Thanks for the plug, baby boy. Oh, God. You're welcome. Interesting choice of words there, sir, but you're welcome. In all seriousness, man, yeah, I'm really excited. Anybody in the Ohio area or I don't know, the neighboring states, if you want to go to an awesome festival, it's going to be massive. I'll be there. And yeah, dude, just can't wait for that. So if you guys aren't subbed to the House of Masks, I don't know what you're waiting on, but one of, if not my favorite channel on the internet. I watch it every single day. He puts videos out about stuff that I have no interest in, but his delivery and passion and knowledge just makes me like watch it. So, great channel, man. And I did the intro music. So, another reason why it's an awesome channel. Have I tried using pickups from Lace? Yes, I had the finger burners years ago. And I swapped them out. I don't know why. They were okay, I guess. Are your tattoos white ink on black? I know you'll say no, but can we hear some riffs on the new album? No, I can't. No, you're right. I will say no. I can't, man. I can't. Not yet. Patience. I can't ruin it, man. I got to do it right. This is gonna be like a legit release, like a real album release, and I can't start like spoiling things. You guys should like try to find like leaked, like demos of it, because they're out there. I'm just kidding. No, they're not. Or are they? I don't know. How's it, Mass? Respect from Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. Woo! It's my neighbor state. Man, I'm down to like 120. Dude, way too heavy, I'm telling you. I can barely bench press the bar anymore. I can't have needles at all. So for you to get all that black, huge respect. Hurts just thinking about the procedure. Yeah. Well, thank you. I guess. Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a tough guy and like this didn't like absolutely suck. It was terrible. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrible. Um, yeah. But I will say, like I've got my legs done and my knees done and all that. Like the black work isn't much different than that. It really isn't. It's just the healing. The healing's what really sucks. Because I mean, for those of you who have tattoos hurt. You know, some people say like, oh, tattoos don't hurt. I personally disagree. I think they all hurt, and I think they all suck. Like, the smallest tattoo to the biggest tattoo, I think they're all extremely painful. All right, Pacific Art, TIG welding. Later. But anyway, what I was saying was like, you know, I've gotten like, this was probably the most painful black work. Like my neck line, my shirt line, I guess, collar line, whatever you call that. Like that was gnarly. But it doesn't hurt much different than getting like a regular tattoo. It's just bigger area and recovery time and healing is just gnarly because like your skin explodes. Or mine was like it was so swollen. I don't know if you can see, can't see it right here, but like I had cracks in my ditch from my skin like ripping, and like I have to get it touched up again. But yeah, it's just gnarly stuff. Where'd I get my shirt? I have no idea. Maybe Kmart or Kohl's or something like that. Hey Josh, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the contribution. Hey man, love the content. And quick question. Do you play your amps often or do you reserve them for videos and recording? Love those EVHs. Good question. So yeah, I play them all pretty often. My two favorite are my gold-plated dual rectifier, which is I can't see, it's out of frame. My drop pedal's sitting on it, right there. That's probably my favorite. But also too, I like my Super Kraken a lot from Victory, and I like my V4 Kraken. You know, I like them because they're like kind of modern sounding and clean sounding, but there's something magical about a dual rectifier. It's like it's so heavy and like sludgy in a way, but still kind of tight, a little bit tight with an overdrive, but also not really. You know what I mean? I don't know. Those of you who play dual rectifiers, you know what I'm saying. It's like they're tight, but they're not. They're so low end heavy, but still kind of get the job done. There's just something magical about them. Can you play the heaviest thing you can? No, I'm not playing today. I played a lot this morning. No playing right now. This is a live Q&A chill sesh. This isn't a live Q&A and riff showcase. All right. Squash. Hey Ray. Hey, what's up? I like your name. Yeah, neck tattoos like Tim Henson or something seem to be just yeah, he's got like the one. He's got like up his back, his neck, and down his traps. Where like mine's kind of in the front and down the traps. Yeah, that's gnarly. His is pretty gnarly. I'd like to get something like that, like on my stomach. I think that'd be cool to kind of tie it all in. Oh. Sorry, the chat's skipping. You got, okay, for the record, before we go any further, this is like the best stream I've ever had in my life, so thanks. I just looked and there's like 120 people watching. That's insane. Thank you so much. The healing, we're talking about tattoos now, apparently. The healing process sucks way more than getting the tattoo, in my opinion. It's tough. For black work, yes. For like normal tattoos, I disagree. Like I've got horror portraits on my legs. Healing process is a breeze for me personally. It just itches after a while. But I I think the healing process is worse than getting blackwood. But let's be real, they're all kind of terrible, right? Take on rev amps. I've never played a rev amp. They look cool and they sound cool, but never played one. Never played a pedal either. You know what I mean? Like they have like the G4s and 3s and 2s and stuff. Never played one of those either. Is that an Ibanez bass on your rack? Yeah, it's a what's that called? Like SDGR, whatever. Yeah, it's an Ibanez. That's like my 5-string drop B, drop A bass whenever I play in those tunings. I don't play in those tunings much as of late, but yeah, that's it's an Ibanez bass. Good eye. What's up, Ray? Hello from Italy. Hey, cheers from the United States. Scott, super chat. Thank you so much. $20. Thank you so much. I have a band offer for you. I commented, but PM on Instagram. Scott Phoenix. Thanks, man. Oh. A band offer for me? Or to check out? I don't know. Tell you what, since you said Instagram, shoot me a DM. I'm sorry. DMs get buried, and I apologize. It's nothing personal. But if you really want to get a hold of me on Instagram or whatever, just I don't mind spamming. I apologize. Sometimes I just don't see them. But Scott, I have a band offer for you. I commented, but PM personal message, I think, or DM on Instagram. Scott Phoenix, thanks, man. We'll talk after this stream, okay? I'm currently using my phone. That's what I'm streaming on. So as soon as we hop off here, you can get a hold of me or vice versa, okay? Thank you so much. Jimbo, Holy Grail, guitar I've always wanted. Yes. I hate telling this story because the one that got away with my white whale, right? In early 2020, there was a 1981 Gibson Les Paul Custom Silverburst on Reverb. It was all checked out, all yellowed and green, like gross looking, but rad. And it was in my cart, and it was not a lot of money. Not a lot of money. And at the time, Les Paul Silverbursts weren't what they are now because Adam Jones didn't come out with his signature guitar. And also, too, this is before 2020 happened. This was like January 2020. So, like, the market was low. No Silverburst influx had happened, X, Y, and Z. And for some reason, I just didn't do it. I didn't buy it. It was like 3 G's, which is a lot of money. And I would have had to, and I was planning on selling like 2 or 3 guitars at the time to fund it. But I was comfortable with it because it was a dream guitar. I didn't buy it. It sold. I was like, whatever, there'll be another one. Then 2020 happens. Then Adam Jones happens. And like all of a sudden, I saw that very same guitar being resold like 3 times for like $6,000, $8,000, $11,000. And it's just like, I'm never one to sell things that I love. I'm not one to like flip things. But I saw the one that I almost had. I had my mouse literally hovering over the button. And just didn't do it. And I don't regret it per se, because I'm content with the things I have now. I'm very fortunate to have cool things anyway. But my dream of getting like a Northern era Silverburst Les Paul Custom is almost impossible now. I'd have to sell damn near all my guitars to get one of those. And obviously it's not worth it, right? So I don't like telling that story. But it's all good, man. I got a Northern era Les Paul Custom at 78 natural. No Gibson / Marshall? I don't know what that means. I don't have a Marshall, but I have lots of Gibsons. Take it easy. Got a dip, Ray, from Oregon coast. Hey. All right, Robert. Cheers, buddy. Hello from Washington State. Hey, other side of the country. What's up? How are you? What are your thoughts on the Stephen Carpenter SIG models? I'll answer that. 1 second. Okay, just got a super chat here. Thank you so much. I don't want to say your real name in case you know. McChurch118. Thanks, buddy. You're the man, dude. That's my buddy. That's my friend. I'll get to you, man. If you could have one modern 2 amp, what would it be and why? Okay, good question. Easy question to remember. Thoughts on Stephen Carpenter SIG models? I've said it recently. I'm not a huge fan of signature guitars in general, just because I feel very limited and pigeonholed when playing a signature guitar from a different artist. That being said, I'm not really a fan. I'm really not. Just not gonna lie to you. I like the I like the. I think he has several of them, but I think I like he has a Telly one, right? I know he has like two. He has like a Strat one, and then I think he has like an 8-string Telly looking thing, if I'm not mistaken, like a white pickguard. I like that one, but I could be way off. But the only thing I do like about him or his guitars, excuse me, is his Fishmans. Because like I said, Fishmans sound amazing, especially with like drop E that he plays on 8 strings. It sounds amazing. But not the biggest fan of 1, 8-string guitars, and 2, signature guitars. Just being honest. But good question. Love Deftones, obviously, case in point, but yeah, just not really a fan of his guitars per se. That's why I like baritones. I only need 6 strings, not 8. I barely need 6. Sometimes I only need 2. Now, favorite modern tube amp, or if I could get one, what would it be and why? Good question. It's not very modern anymore, but I really like diesel stuff. Like I had a VH2. I borrowed it from a friend. I really like that. I would like a VH4 just because they look cool. And some people don't like the sound of diesels. I love the sound of diesels. Like they're like very like textury and almost like scooped and kind of gross sounding, but I kind of like that. They're not polished from my experience. They're kind of gross and like gnarly, but I like that. I don't like polished, clean tones. Like that's why I have 3 HM2s up here. Like I love, you know what I mean? Like I love that stuff. So I'd probably just go with a diesel. Now, a more modern amp, maybe like a Fort and Sigil or like a Fort and Cali. I like Fort and stuff. Maybe like a Fort and Cali because it's white and it looks cool. It's like totally not the cliche for metal. All metal amps are all blacked out, so like a whited out amp looks super rad. That's probably what I would choose. Code Orange fan. It's like I respect the craft more than I do like the songs and stuff. Like I think Reba's badass. Like she's so rad, dude. Like plays like gear that I really like. She plays EVH amps, analog pedals predominantly. That's super rad. Plays Railhammer pickups a lot. I love Railhammer pickups. So like it's like I respect the craft, but now in terms of songs, I don't know. I really don't listen to much new music anymore. Like I'm kind of just I'm getting old. You know what I mean? Like I just listen to Van Halen and Zeppelin and like the Who and stuff like that. So Sex Pistols. So like new stuff, I just don't really. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I'm not a fan of Code Orange, but they're rad, and like I said, I kind of respect the craft. You know what I mean? I hope that answers your question. Opinion on Suicide Silence. I liked them back in the day. They were heavy. Like they had like 5 or 6 songs that I really, really liked. New Suicide Silence, not really a fan of. Helix Floor Swank. My opinion, anyway. Okay. I don't know what that means. Hey, Ray. Got any thoughts on the new Fender Meteoras? I'm thinking about getting the Silverburst one. Yeah, so those got released when I was out of town, and I never got to do like an initial reaction video. I still could, I guess. But I don't know. I know, dude, I'll be honest, man. I know if I got a Meteor, there's one person in particular everybody would talk about, another famous artist who made the Meteora famous first. And that would just be a huge, like, comparison thing that I personally don't want to like, do. But that being said, I think the Meteoras would be so rad if they were just hardtails. Like, they did Meteoras, like Fender USA made in Mexico, or I'm sorry, Fender Meteora double humbucker made in Mexico, like a red one, a blue one, maybe another color. I like those more than than the ones that just came out. That being said, the Silverburst looks so rad. But yeah, to answer your question, I like them, but I personally know that if I get one, there'll be one person that everybody will want to compare me to, and like I can't. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do my own thing. So that somebody's saying here that Silverburst Meteora, you're not into that. I am, but I wish it was a hardtail, and also too, like I just said, it's like, you know, I can't win with that one. Hey Ray, give us some chugs. On June 24th, there'll be plenty of chugs for all of us to enjoy. Nah, in all seriousness, I'm not playing today. Thank you though. I've never played a bad Schecter, nor have I. I've always said it. I've said it a million times, and people call me out on what I say, and I stand by it. Schecter has probably the best import production model guitars I've ever played. I've played a lot of Schecters in my life. Ever since I started this channel, I've had maybe like 15 in my hand, and maybe on this channel 15, give or take. Maybe 10, I don't know. But yeah, they're all so good, dude. Is your album going to be on Apple Music? Yes, it'll be everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, TikTok, Instagram, you know, all that stuff, man. iTunes, if that's even a thing. Apple Music, if I didn't say that. Yeah, it'll be everywhere. That Rob Scallon Schecter looks neat. I didn't know Rob Scallon was with Schecter. How naive I am. I thought he was still with the old Chapman. I guess he left. Seems like a lot of people have left Chapman. And I've heard, I don't want to say this, I have heard, I've seen people saying that Rabia, never mind, I'm not going to say that. Never mind. What's my favorite Van Halen album? Van Halen 2. Van Halen 2. Yeah. With my guitars, it always happens that the frets stick out just a tiny bit after time, probably due to humidity changes. You have that too, or am I doing something wrong? So, I'm pretty naive to a lot of stuff. I'm currently rubbing my hand on my fretboard here, my fret edges. Every once in a while, like on like a guitar that's not roasted maple, I'll say this, I've noticed it ever so slightly. But that being said, I am a very superficial player. Like, I don't necessarily like pay too much attention to that stuff. And if I do have guitars that have like frets sticking out a little bit because of like wood shrinkage and all that stuff, or whatever the elements cause it to do that, I kind of just like learn to live with it in a way. Because I'm not like a super technical, fast super shredder. I just kind of like guitars that like look cool and like just sound cool. And obviously playability is a huge factor, but I'm just saying like if a guitar over time like has some like fret ends that are sticking out, I kind of just like accept it as like that's just the aging process or whatever of the guitar, you know what I mean? So I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I don't think anybody's doing anything wrong. I think it's just, you know, unless you want like a controlled room, like temperature controlled and humidity controlled, I think it's kind of more or less just a part of the game, you know what I mean? But again, I'm sure there's somebody out there that totally disagrees with me, and that's okay too. Yeah, see, there's guys hopping in here now explaining more. I don't want to say professionally, but better than I am, because yeah, people are saying fret sprout happens. It's called fret sprout. Yep, see, everybody's saying the same thing. Cool. I'm glad you guys are helping me out, because, you know, I'm pretty naive to a lot of this stuff. I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning just as much as you guys are. It's like, I don't know everything. I know a decent amount of stuff with the things that I'm knowledgeable of and passionate about. But in terms of, like, you know, I say, like, the luthier side of things, just how the guitar works and how it breathes and ages, I'm figuring that along with you guys as well, because, you know, there's a lot of you who've been doing it longer than I have. So, you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate you guys chiming in. That's all I'm trying to say. Favorite Megadeth riff? That's cliche, but Symphony of Destruction. I mean, come on. That's a great one. It's classic. Favorite King Diamond album. I couldn't name a King Diamond album if my life depended on it. Is the album you're releasing now what you recorded in Nashville? No, it's not. The thing I recorded in Nashville is God, I just wish it was out, man. It's not up to me. It's up to certain individuals that are part of it that I can't say who they are, man, but they're extremely busy, and they're currently about to go on tour very, very soon, like big tour. And I'll just say it that. So they're working on the thing that was recorded in Nashville out in LA, out in the Hollywood Hills. And then, yeah, that'll get announced whenever, and it'll come out whenever. But in the meantime, this is something else I've had, cooked up as well, my own individual project. That thing in Nashville. One day it'll come out, and I can't wait for that day. Favorite band from the 2000s. Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, like, is Limp Bizkit 2000s? Is Slipknot 2000s? Is Creed 2000s? Like, they kind of, like, blend. But, if I had to pick one from the 2000s, probably Limp Bizkit. Like, Limp Bizkit's rad. Like, I love Limp Bizkit, you know what I mean? Slipknot's rad, obviously. I don't know. Any new metal I like, you know what I mean? Favorite Deftones song? Good question. Digital Baths up there, but You've Seen the Butcher. Definitely You've Seen the Butcher. Do I like ABR? What's your favorite album? Yes, I love Rescue and Restore. Favorite album. Best album. Constellations is good, and oh god, what's the one from 2007 with the candle? Somebody help me out. 2007 August Burns Red album. It's before Constellations. Messengers, I think it's called. Somebody will help me out. Love me some old school. Love me some old new metal. It's like an oxymoron, but yeah. Rescue and Restore is definitely their best. I'm so glad you agree. Yeah. Messengers. Okay, thank you guys. Favorite female guitarist? Ooh, good question. Female guitarist. Probably Reba from Code Orange. Just again, like I said about 20 minutes ago, I love her craft, and I love her mindset on gear and tone. And like I said, having like an insane and absurd amount of pedals, that's super cool. She plays awesome riffs and makes noise, and she can scream and sing. It's super cool, and it's inspiring to watch. I mean, Nita's up there, but that's more or less just because she's incredibly talented with her shredding, but shredding's like not my favorite genre of guitar, you know what I mean? Like, so probably Reba, just because like she writes awesome riffs and stuff and can scream, and like, you know what I mean? Like, that's really rad to watch, and like I said, inspiring to watch. Good question. Female guitarist. I don't know, I kind of like Kiki from Visual War. Like, she's rad. Yeah, like, she's cool. She's incredibly talented as well. It's another one up there. So, yeah, like, those three. Nita, Kiki, and Reba. Go Birds, hell yeah. What kind of picks do I use? I use two. 95, according to my calculations. According to my calculations, 95% of the time I use these JP 1.36 Jazz 3 looking things. And then I also use these, but not this one. So this is a regular. I don't know where this came from, but I used the Dunlop Sharp Tortex 1.14s. Like the pointy ones that look like little Doritos. I use those. Depends on like how fast I need to pick, because my right hand is very, very weak. It's my weakest part of my playing, like my down picking. So like if I need fast down picking, I use a JP. But if I need like the Meshuggah Gallop, I use a Sharp, because it's like faster off the strings. Are you still thinking about that diesel amp? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just mentioned diesels not too long ago. I mean, I'm always thinking about VH2s and VH4s and Herberts and stuff. I just can't afford them. They're too expensive. What is currently your favorite album? Ah, man, I don't know. I mean, I've been listening to, in terms of like new albums, I've been listening to Eternal Blue a decent amount. Um, yeah, probably Eternal Blue is like my favorite newer album. But like, what album have I been listening to a lot? Any like just periodically? Probably like probably Creed Greatest Hits. That's not even a joke. Yeah, I love that. Hey Ray, Fishman or bare knuckle? So far, Fishman. I like actives over passives. Opinions on legators, or legators, whatever. I know they had a huge like PR blundle, or blunder, blundle, a huge PR blunder back in the day. But that being said, I had one like I think it was like a fan fret 6-string headless with Fishmans and a kill switch, as you do. I mean, it was cool, but the guitars are a little too futuristic for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm such a traditionalist and like old head at heart, to where like fan fret, multi-scale, Fishman headless, stuff. It's just like I can't really like. It's not that I can't get behind it. It's just, you know what I mean. It just doesn't feel like mine. You know what I mean? So, do I like PAFs? Yeah, I mean they're okay, but I'm not like a huge like old school humbucker enthusiast. You know what I mean? Like I like actives. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Have you listened to the new Whitechapel album? I have not. Do I like Tom Waits? The only thing I know about Tom Waits is he inspired Heath Ledger to do his Joker impression. What recording software did you use when you first started out recording for YouTube? So the software and or hardware that I use starting out is literally the same thing. That's like it's like half true. I started out using iMovie and GarageBand with a little Focusrite interface with like 1 or 2 inputs barely. It's like this big and a USB. I say I use the same thing because then I very quickly, within the first month, switched from GarageBand to Logic and switched from iMovie to Final Cut Pro, and I haven't switched from either of those in 5 years. And they're literally the same thing, just more advanced of the two. You know what I mean? Like iMovie is Final Cut Pro and GarageBand is Logic, just more expansive. And then I use now just a same type of brand of interface, a Focusrite, just now with multiple inputs, and it's a Thunderbolt, not a USB. But that Thunderbolt interface I use whenever I travel. Like all of my interviews traveling I did, the Jim Root video was on that, the Dean headquarters stuff, all on that. So I still use the same stuff off and on to this day. I still have my same first laptop as like my travel laptop. That's 5 years old. I still do it. Ed Zed, I really want to get a Stramberg Plini model. I have wrist pains, sometimes from working with my wrists and playing guitar after work. I think the neck would help. Hard to justify $3K. Do you think it's worth it? Okay. Well, I will say this. I don't think the guitar will, just one man's opinion, I don't think the guitar itself will fix your wrist pain. I think there probably is some sort of technique, some other underlying issue. I don't think there's a guitar out there that'll exacerbate wrist pain more than the other. And I'm only saying that because I've played several Strambergs and owned several Strambergs in my life. And that kind of trapezoid, it's like a diagonal trapezoidal plane thing across from the low to the high or vice versa. That doesn't like get rid of all wrist pain. I think playing in a more classical sense helps out wrist pain versus sitting with it on your right leg. I think having this with a footstool will help out. So if you're trying to buy a guitar solely on hoping your wrist pain will go away, I don't recommend it. But if you want to buy a Strandberg because you like Strandbergs, why not, right? But I think the underlying issue is your technique and your proper stance on how you're playing. Like, I have one just out of frame. I use a footstool, and I learned it from a classical guitar player. Sitting classical is a much more powerful and yet relaxed and better, for lack of a better word, better stance to sit and play. So I would work on that. And then also, too, as my mom would always say, if it hurts, don't do it. Because I only bring that up because she's been with me the entire time with all my ailments and injuries. And I'd be like, Mom, it hurts when I do this, when I move my arm or I move my wrist. And she'll say, don't do it. And she's right. Just rest. So I'm not trying to make light of your situation, but I think the underlying issue is not the guitar itself. And I don't think a $3,000 guitar will fix your wrist pain. I think your technique and resting, and easier said than done, but the things you're doing at work may exacerbate that as well. So I hope that helped. Like I said, if you want a Pliny guitar, let it rip, dude. Go get it. But if you want it because you think it'll help your wrist pain, I don't recommend getting it. Yeah, see, everybody's chiming in on their tips and tricks, because we as guitar players and nerds of the instrument, we all have been there. You know what I mean? Like, we all have ailments. I have ailments, and ironically, my wrist hurts a little bit this week, just, because things happen. So what I'm going to do is just, rest and not play as much. Would you ever sell your silver Delo 7? I sure would, and I sure did. It's been gone out of my possession for 7 months, something like that. I got it, and I liked it, but I didn't like it. I thought it was like my dream 7-string, but it wasn't. I learned that I like baritones, and I became obsessed with baritones. I have carpal tunnel from playing too much. Rest is important. See, exactly. What do you think is better, EVH 606 or the Stealth? I did a video on the very subject, and according to my memory, I think the red channels are identical, and the blue channel on the Stealth is slightly more modern sounding. That being said, you can't go wrong with either. I really just discourage buying the 50-watt EL34 that's just out of frame. That thing, not very good. If it hurts, don't do it. Statement of Ray's mom, yeah. I'll call her later and tell her. What's the most reliable gear you've had for on the road and or live? Honestly, I'm not just saying this because I'm being dead honest. This little Kraken. I've had that thing in backpacks, suitcases, flew down to Atlanta and recorded with it, went all over the country with it, plugged it into the wall, just no power conditioner. Don't recommend it, but I've done it. And it just rock solid every single time. I think it's because it's like a solid state hybrid, like preamp tubes and solid state power section. But there's so much you can do with it. It has a cab sim on it. It's got reverb on it. You can power a pedal on it. Yeah, dude, it's just so good. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. That's just like my favorite. Close second would be my gold-plated dual rectifier. Up until very recently, that was like my one-off show amp, and that thing just kicks ass. You know what I mean? All right, Mike, take it easy, buddy. I have to try baritone as well. I have a beautiful and well-playing 7, but haven't picked it up, so I'm gonna sell it. But I love the low notes. It's funny. I'm going to make a video. I was going to do it today, but I wanted to do a live stream, and I'm really glad I did, because this live stream's been a lot of fun so far. I lost my train of thought. My video idea is why you should not buy a baritone, because obviously I have a million reasons why you should, because I'm kind of been known as the baritone player for the last 2 years, which is so cool that I have carved out that we've carved out this little niche of metal guitar, collectively. But it's not for everybody, so I obviously recommend it, but I'm gonna make that video as to why you shouldn't. Do I know any August Burns Red tunes? I know like riffs. Like I know like the outro to Mariana's Trench, that breakdown's super easy and fun to play. I know Whitewashed, the beginning part of that. I used to know Backburner. That's an easy song to play. It's hard, but it's, in August Burns Red technicality, it's relatively easy. August Burns Red has very, very, very hard riffs, and they're not fun to learn. So I know riffs. I don't think I have any completed songs. I think I used to have Backburner memorized, but I obviously don't have it anymore. That was years ago. Steaks medium or rare? Somebody said medium rare. Rare, dude. Rare all the way. Rare, rare, rare. I don't like it to where it's like cold in the middle. That's not my thing. But I like it to where it's rare, dude. Like, I like it rare. You know what I mean? Like, I like it, I like it with some juice to it. You know what I mean? Not to the point where it's like stupid scary, at least what I would call stupid scary, where it's like I said, cold in the middle. But I know people love that. I just personally don't. So rare, but cooked a little bit. You know what I mean? Sorry, amp noob here. That's okay. But what is the difference of this thing and a normal Kraken tube amp? Okay, good question. A lot. So like the Kraken, they're both called Kraken. One's called a Kraken, one's called a Super Kraken. And they also have a 50-watt Kraken. I'm not helping right now. I'm making it more convoluted. Bear with me. So this is called the V4. The V4 Kraken is like a pedal, an amp and a pedal and a pedal and an amp, basically. So in terms of like convenience and ins and outs and all that stuff, that's my favorite, and that's awesome. Whereas like the big boy amp, the big amp, we'll say, the Super Kraken, it doesn't have a reverb, it doesn't have a cab XLR, you can't power a pedal with it, but the sound's there, the low end's there, the power tubes are there. This is like a glorified pedal, whereas like the amp is a real amp, and they sound different. Something to do with like the low end, and the way it just builds up is a little bit different. Whereas this is kind of like lacking in the low end and the power, but it has the convenience factor, and it has the same type of richness and tones, but when you want like that sheer power on a recording, use the big amp. Now, in a live room, in my opinion, this does the job just the same as the big amp, because this has 180 watts of power. The big amp, the Victory Super Kraken, I think has like 100 or 120. So the power is there. It's just the low end, and you can only tell the nuance of the low end when recording. Hope that helps. Obviously, I'm a huge Victory enthusiast. I think they're super rad, and I love the company. So I get lost talking about them. I'm about to convert my daughter's starter 24-inch scale guitar into a 27-inch baritone. Hell yeah. Any crazy mods or products to come up for you, Ray? Crazy mods or ideas. There's no like DIY mods, but there is a mod. It's a pickup mod coming soon, but it's a new product. We'll just say that. And I have to swap out the pickups in one of my old guitars, or I'm not going to say which one, because it'll be a dead giveaway, but there's something coming up. It's not a signature set or anything like that. I'm not going to pretend like it's super cool, but it's a new line of pickups from a very reputable company, so that'll be happening sooner rather than later. This looks like a good question. Alexander, what do you do to find new music to enjoy and expand your musical horizon? Well, honestly, I'm very stuck in my ways. I really don't listen to too much new music because I feel like I haven't learned everything from my favorite music. Like, I listen to Led Zeppelin still to this day for inspiration, and I learn something. I listen to Van Halen for inspiration. I learn something. I listen to, God, yeah, I was just listening to like the Cars. I don't even like the Cars, but I was listening to the song "Moving in Stereo," which is an iconic classic song. I like was studying that. So I don't necessarily like seek out new music. I just revisit the music that I know and or love, and there's just hundreds of thousands of songs that I've heard and or know, and the act of like sitting down and studying it is different than sitting down and listening to it. You know, we can listen to a million songs and like not really hear the nuances or hear the chord progression, or now that I'm knowledgeable in music theory, I can like dissect songs and understand like the chord progression and the intervals and the intervallic relationships between notes, and like why Jimmy Page, you know, played this or why Eddie did that. It was probably by accident sometimes, but it sounds X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z with theory behind it. So to answer your question, I get inspiration from just the legends that have already come and gone before us, and I think you could spend a lifetime learning and or studying that stuff. And even learning things like, I love Wes Borland, as do a lot of people. I learn a lot from his riff writing, and that dude doesn't know a lick of theory, but I can dissect his riffs and understand his theory choices by chance, and you know, I can learn from him. Good question though. Dude, I just found a dime sign number 6 of 50. I'm so stoked. How much is that? Is it on Reverb? That's amazing. Congrats. Yes, this amp can drive a cab. Yes. Hey, Ed, I see you asked that question again. I don't know if I got to you, or if you heard it. I got to you. So. Ah, okay, there it is. You answered my question I didn't hear. My apologies if like I did something wrong. Cody K, I wish companies would make more modular parts. The ability to swap out pickups when you change strings would be amazing. Dude, right? Right? I know. What's that one company, Relish Guitars? They like have the ability where you can like buy the Relish branded pickups, and like you can just like pop them in and out. Like that's cool. EMG does it with the Quick Connect stuff, but you know, you can only do it with EMG pickups. And yeah, like I wish there was like a universal, like, I mean there are stuff out there. I just wish it was like as easy as like changing a 9-volt, you know, change your pickup, you know, like a universal thing. You know, that would be cool, but I guess, you know, all the brands would have to crosstalk, and then they would inadvertently be competing with each other. So it sounds like it would never happen, but it sounds cool to like, you know, wish that, right? Why no EMGs in your custom guitars? Greeting from GC Laredo. Sorry, the chat just skipped. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the question. Why no EMGs in my custom guitars? Well, good question. EMG doesn't make these types of pickups. The Jazzmaster pickups are what makes my baritone sound unique, I guess. I mean, it's like, you know, Loathe and myself and maybe a few other guitar players have this kind of signature kind of clanky sound. EMGs doesn't make these fat single coils yet. So it's like EMGs don't make these yet, so I can't put them in here. And then with this one, at the time I was not an EMG artist. I built this a year ago tomorrow. I built both of these like May 1st, 2021, and I got them over 10 months later. I got them like mid-March or something like that. So like 10 and a half months. Took a long time, I think, just due to supply chain and, you know, work shortages and all that stuff from 2021 and the residual effects of 2020. So I wasn't an EMG artist when I built them, and when you build them, you can't like respec them once they're out. So at the time, you know, I obviously loved EMGs in May 2021, but I was just like, oh, let's just try something different just because. And, you know, I'd never played a bare knuckle Blackhawk, and I was like, I'll try it, you know what I mean? So it was more or less just a combination of like I wasn't an EMG artist yet, and it just like it was perceived weird because I became an EMG artist this year before I got my guitar. So it's like, well, why didn't you put EMGs in them? I built these almost a year ago, so that's why. Now, can I put EMGs in them? Yeah, of course. Will I? Probably, but I mean, there's things I can't. Never mind. Shoot, I almost said it. I will swap them out in due time. Let's just say that. Are they stacked Jazzmaster pickups? Like stacked in terms of like humbuckers? No, they're single coils. They're fat single coils. Hello from Kyiv. Hey, what's up? Cheers from the United States. Hope you're doing well. Time's it over? It's got to be late, yeah? I mean, it's almost 4:30 Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast of the United States, so it's 10:30 in Germany, so it's got to be late. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Did I try the new Architect's Tempest pedal? I don't know. Did I? Put out a video on it, man. I got it. I had it on tour with me. I got it. I was using it in secret all March and April. I was using it live before it was announced. I wasn't allowed to show it, but I was just like, ooh. I was being sneaky, you know what I mean? Yeah, Middle Eastern instruments and sounds with metal is God tier. They have a decent selection. I'm not sure, maybe EMG, I don't know. Wild Custom Guitars make the Gyrock. You could change pickups by moving a switch. 6 pickups on one guitar. There you go, see? Let's get more of that. Hello from Israel. Hey, what's up? Cheers from the US. How are you? What made you go with the aux box over the Captor, or do you have both? Captor X. Okay. So at the time, the Captor X wasn't... I bought this years ago, like 3.5 years ago. I got it early 2019. So the Captor X wasn't a thing yet. The Captor was out, and like the Mesa Boogie, whatever that thing's called, the first iteration before they redid it. Yeah, Kyiv, it's 11:30. Man, you're up late. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. So I chose that because it was the like hot new item at the time. Mesa Cab Clone, thank you. Because I redid the Cap Clone and then now they have the Captor X. But again, I got this first, and I haven't, dude. All my guitar tones and amp tones have come from this thing and only this thing for like 3 years. I do have a 2 notes torpedo cab, KAB abbreviation thing. That was put in my rig, my live big rig, just as like the ability to like go through to front of house. Oh, I see some super chats. I'm sorry. Hey, thank you so much, old Damien, $2. Incorporate some sitar, Ray. I'm not joking. That would be amazing. I just gotta find my hands on a sitar. Thank you for the suggestion, though. Sorry about that. Try anything Kramer related? Berettas are crazy. No, I haven't. So, Kramers to me are very like 80s shred. And that's... Oh, hey, no worries. I love you too. Thank you so much. So like the 80s shred, like the Jacksons, the Kramers, the, you know, whatever. It's like, it's hard for me to get behind that stuff. And that's just an own fault of my own brain and, you know, self-identifying, what do you even call that? My own self-identifying brand, you know what I mean? So like, I would never even think to like, oh, let's try a Kramer because I'm not going to shred your face off. That being said, I need to, because Kramer seem to be doing a lot of great things as of late in recent times. When I was a kid, it's funny, when I was a kid, Kramers were like kind of frowned upon because like shred was kind of dead. And I grew up in like, you know, the new metal era, and I grew up in like the post-grunge era. So like Kramers were like kind of not sought after like they were in the 80s, and now they're making a resurgence. So long story short, yeah, I need to try some Kramers, but again, just with everything, just time and money. You know what I mean? So, thank you for the question. Outside of the aux box, what are your go-to impulse responses? I gotta be honest. I'm pretty open to everything. I don't have like a go-to favorite cab. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is my favorite impulse response. Bam. I don't work like that at all. I kind of just like take the gear for what it is. You know what I mean? Like the head rush. I mean, not the head rush because I put some IRs on. I put some rainbows and chainsaws on there because those are cool from Christian Cola. But like the Helix, I just liked it. You know, whatever stock IRs were on there, I just used them. They were super rad. This isn't an IR loader, the aux box. It just has good 4x12 IRs. I just use it as need be. I'm not one to like be a huge tone tweaker and tone chaser and tone dialer. I take gear at like almost like face value and like make the best of it type of deal. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's necessarily the best approach, but to answer your question, I don't have go-to IR responses or anything like that. Same with like I'm looking at my computer here. Same with like plugins. Like you can, almost all of them are IR loaders as well, and you can upload your favorite IR. I kind of don't see the point. Like if you're gonna have like, for me personally, if I'm gonna have my IR that I'm carrying with me throughout all these pieces of gear, just pick one and just stick with it. I kind of like trying out the gear as it's presented. You know what I mean? Like buying and or trying out a product as it's presented from the company, as opposed to like, yeah, all right, here's the new thing. Let me just put my own spin on it anyway. So I don't know if that's like a good way to go about things. It's just how I kind of have done it. You know what I mean? So good question. I hope that answers your question. Headstocks with a brake angle make my anxiety go whoop. Oh, like one of these? Yeah, this isn't too bad of a headstock angle. It's very slight, but like a Les Paul. Oh god, I already snapped one of my headstocks by mistake. Oh, thank you so much for $10 super chat. #1 fan. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. That's very, very thoughtful of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Helps out this channel a lot. Thank you. Hello, Ray. Still love your Les Paul? Oh yeah, always. All three of them. I think I have three. Yeah. I've narrowed it down to three. 92, a 20, 20, and a 78. Yeah, I love them all, man. I like my 92 the best, but yeah, they're awesome. In case I missed... here we go. That's okay, Tristan. In case I missed the video where you explained it, what's the reason behind the blackout tattoos on your arms or shoulders? Sorry, it's not gear related. It's all good, man. No worries. String gauges you use? I use 2 sets. I recently just toured with a 13 to 68 with Stringjoy, but that was in drop G. And drop F, I use a 13 to 72. Stringjoy is awesome. They like custom make gauges and stuff, and like string packs and stuff. They're super rad. So basically, I don't know the entire set, but it's like 13 and then 72. You know what I mean? I like just like 70 with 30 inches. You know what I mean? Like in a 72 in drop F. It's perfect. It's perfect. Hey, thank you so much. $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Are we worthy enough to own Jim's new Charvels? I mean, it's like a trick question. I think we're worthy, but they're not out yet. You know what I mean? Like they're still. It's funny. I was talking to Jim. Jim showed me those Charvels in like April of 2021, and they were supposed to be out at NAMM time, but NAMM is not a thing anymore. So yeah, I would like to for everybody to buy them, I guess, but I probably won't buy one personally. Not only because it's a signature guitar, but also too, it's got a floating Floyd, and those give me anxiety. So, yeah. What's your favorite pickup set? Oh man, 81, 85. It's corny and it's cliche, but you know, it's my favorite. Do I still play songs from other bands for enjoyment? Yes, I do.
like if I'm like in a guitar store, like I rip my like my whole lot of loves and my my mean streets and my heartbreaker and my I don't know, like I'm trying to think of like classic guitar store riffs, like Nobody's Fault But Mine by Zeppelin and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, um, I like I still play those, but in terms of like I don't do covers anymore on this channel because you don't make money off them. They take all that money. But also too, like I said a million times, it could sound a little pompous and arrogant, but I'm just being real with myself more than anything. It's like I've done all that for the majority of my playing career and or life. I don't like playing other people's art. It's like if you're a painter or something and you paint somebody else's painting, like that won't feel good. You know what I mean? So I play other people's riffs for fun, yeah. But in terms of like creating, it's just I'm very focused on being my own entity. Hey bro, how you feeling? You good? Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good now. I'm hanging out with like nearly 100 of my friends right now. We're all just chilling on a Saturday. Things could be way worse. You know what I mean? Way worse. For a number of reasons, obvious reasons. But I'm doing all right. Thank you. Hope you're doing well as well. Why is the basic of metal chug so hard for me to get the rhythm? Practice. All metal, 95% of metal is just in 4/4 common time. Just takes practice with a metronome and just an insane amount of work ethic to get rhythm down. Some people aren't good at rhythm. Like I'm not good at down picking, but I'm good at rhythm. I'm not good at shredding, but I'm good at pinch harmonics. You know what I mean? Like we all have our pitfalls with our playing. Like I could keep time relatively well and I can do pinch harmonics. But for you, your rhythm might be a weak part. So you got to work on it. I remember in 2020, just not to make it all about me, just to give you some context. I remember in 2020 when we had an insane amount of downtime, I would spend literally an hour a day with a metronome down picking. That's how bored I was. But my down picking was a weak point, and it got better, and I've kind of probably lost a little bit of it. But I'm just saying, like, the rhythms for you may be something you just need to practice, and just practice and practice. You know what I mean? Hey, Alex, you get it. Thanks for having my back. I appreciate it. Boss katana opinions. Good question. I've had this question several times. The katana is one of those things. Like I've only tried it in the store, but everything that I've heard and or seen and or tried in the store just excites me. Like they're amazing for like what $360, and they sound great, and they're solid state, and they're hard to break, and they have presets, I think, and you have a lead tone and clean tone and all that stuff. It's like, dude, send it. You know what I mean? Like that's awesome. Again, with everything, time and money. Time and money, and sometimes, more often than not, it's not an issue. But I feel like the Boss Katana has been out for so long, and it's such a easy thing to get a hold of because there's so many of them and they're relatively cheap. I think doing a video on it now may not be worth it. I don't know. I mean, if there's a big enough demand for it, I'll do it. But yeah, anybody who ever asks me about a Boss Katana, I say get it because they sound great and they're relatively affordable. Yeah, let it rip. Only way to train down picking is Metallica. I swear, for an hour, it would either be just like straight down picking, but I would get bored and it would be hard. So then I would just do. Obviously not with a baritone and drop F, but I would just play that riff over and over and over again. Recommend noise gate. TC Electronic Sentry is great, and Fortin Zool is great. That's what I would recommend. Hey, thanks, Luis. I appreciate it. Everything's fine. Thank you. Decimator's great gate. I got first gen, but they're great. I've never tried a Decimator. I've heard they're great, but that's why I didn't bring it up because like I've never tried one, but I've heard they're great. You know what I mean? Thoughts on Loathe the band? That's the thing. Like, I love Loathe. I'm a greatest hits Loathe fan. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a super mega fan. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of them, but I love like White Hot, and I love Gourd, and I love um, Servant and the Master, and all that stuff. Like, that's so cool. But I loved Connor. You know what I mean? I loved Connor Sweeney, and he's no longer in the band. His style and his like just stage presence was so cool and so not metal. But then when he left, I was like, damn, man. Like, just when I was getting into a new band and like, my favorite member left, so it was a little bit of a bummer. But like the 2017 to 2020 Loathe is super rad. Like, I love that stuff. First riff I made. I mean, I can't remember the first one I wrote, but the first one that I was really proud of is a song. First song I wrote that I'm like legitimately proud of was like a couple years ago, and I'll just leave it at that. EMGs are $200. Well, oh, you guys are talking to each other. What are you talking about? A set with the components is less than $100. EMGs are $200. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. I'm not gonna. What's that called? The person that drawing a blank. Really showing my intelligence level. The person moderate. I'm not gonna moderate that. Didn't they popularize baritone guitars? I didn't even know they really existed until I let it in. So that's the thing. Like, they kind of made that Antigua baritone famous, which is a reason why I don't want to play that guitar as much, because it's like the Loathe guitar. Like, everybody that sees that guitar talks about Loathe, where it's like, I'm so glad I have this one now, to where this is my own individual thing. So. Hey man, I love Fractal. You maybe should revise your old Axe effects too in the channel. Also trying with your power amp. I don't have that anymore, but yeah. That video of like why I hate my Axe effects gets people so upset. And I never said it sounded bad. It's just I didn't like it because I spent all this money investing in getting a new Axe effects, and then the Axe effects 3 came out like 3-4 months later. And now they don't make firmware, you know what I mean? Like, now that's an outdated product. And I think most people got it, but some people got, like, really upset about it. It's like, I was just bummed because I could have got, like, a dual rectifier or a new EVH, and that would still be relevant, you know what I mean? So, anyway. Matt's Tube of You. Hey, thank you so much. $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Hey, Ray. Great content, and good to see you're well. What's your take on EVH guitars? Have one myself, and it reminds me of a Telly. Anyways, stay well. Good question. EVH guitars. I had, like, in the OG, before anybody watched this channel, I had several EVH guitars, and I had a white USA one with a top-mounted Floyd. And I really, really love EVH guitars, man. I really do love them. Really love them. My first guitar one of my first guitars. I'll see you in a bit, Ray. I gotta go to Red Lobster. Just crack me up because I love Red Lobster. Enjoy your dinner, man. In like 2004, 2005, Guitar World put out like a Legends EVH edition, and on the back, I still have it at my mom's house. They had like the PV Wolfgang and the PV 5152s for sale from Musician's Friend. I should find it, man. Just like show it on the channel. But I remember being so obsessed with it. It was a red flame maple top PV Wolfgang. Now the EVH Wolfgangs are the newest iteration of those, and I always loved them, man. They always remind me of that time and that like special moment of being obsessed with like a Guitar Hero as a kid. So the EVH Wolfgangs, I really sincerely like. I think I like the PVs the most out of the 3, Ernie Ball, PV, and EVH, because of the sentimental reasons. But I have nothing bad to say about EVH guitars. The standard specials and USAs, they're all great. I've tried all 3. I've owned specials and USA EVHs. Yeah, love EVH, man. They don't remind me of a Telly. They remind me of a jazz master per se. But regardless, I love Eddie, and yeah, I love Wolfgang's. Good question. Hey man, I'm a drummer. Are you gonna have a band for live shows to perform your new solo album? Good question, Ryan. So I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do the cop out thing of like just backing tracks. It's not as exciting for a live performance and for the audience, so I don't want to shortchange the audience. People are paying money to see me play, but at the same time, if I needed a drummer, a great metal drummer, I know the guy. He would have my back and do it in a heartbeat. It's just more or less if it's like the drummer is the easiest part to find, I think, because I'm very fortunate. I know a lot of great metal drummers who are great people and nice people. The hard part in decision is like how much do I want to have on tracks and how much do I want to have live. Like Jason Richardson, for example, has a drummer in him, but everything else is on tracks except his guitar. So like maybe I would do something like that. Putting a whole band together, I don't want to do that. I think the most I would do would be the Jared James Nichols approach, like a 3-piece. But I don't know. Something I got to decide. But I appreciate your question. Hey, Luis, no, I didn't know about that. I think Tone Wars just did a video on that. Where if you crank the gain on the stealth and turn down the volume, you can get a plexi. I didn't know that. But anyway. Saw a good question. Here, just a comment. Open for you in Tucson. How's everything been since you got home? Things are great now that I'm home. It wasn't good when I wasn't home. But I'm good now, so thank you. Thank you so much for asking. Hope you're doing well. Hey, thank you so much. Stay awesome, Ray. Love what you do. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very sweet. Very, very, very kind of you. Thank you. What is a good string for standard tuning? 10 to 46. Can't go wrong. And if you're a shredder, 9 to 46 or 42. Had to come back for a moment to say that P4 is insane. What's P4? The album from Periphery? Ray just dropped in. Matt's Tuba View. Thumbs up. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. GFF redactives versus EMG. I've never heard of GFF redactives, so I don't know. EMG by default. Nah, I don't really know. I don't even know what that is. Something I gotta educate myself on. Will I ever do a meeting with fans? Yes. So, I've always said this. Anytime. Well, there's 2 ways I can answer this. So, like, would I ever do like a meet and greet, like a scheduled event? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Do I have? I don't think I have the pull of an audience to do that by myself. That's why I'm going to Pale Fest in Ohio in October. Like, that'll be an event where I'm there. You know what I mean? But whenever I play live and play a show, I encourage people to come up and hang out. You know, like there's lots of you. I don't know if anybody's in this chat now, but a lot of viewers of the channel saw me around the country and around the United States this past month and a half ago, and that was so cool. Like I'm not somebody who like would charge anybody or anything like that's such a foreign mentality. I can't even fathom doing that. But yeah, anytime I play live, if you're in the area, just come up and say hi. Like that's the coolest thing. You know what I mean? Like that makes me so happy that people are interested in that and interested in me, I guess, you know? So would I ever? Yeah, I kind of do it all the time, you know? Just whenever I play live. Heaven's Pill. So I just don't want to say that out loud in case I get demonetized. It's a very serious question and a good question. Nothing, you know, I just don't want to say, you know what I mean? Like with this whole thing, they automatically like hear buzzwords and like, because it's like touchy subjects. I personally have not. To answer your question, I personally have not. But I wouldn't be surprised if I did run into some problems sooner rather than later. Any recommendations about smaller guitar manufacturers that we might not know about yet? Is Balaguer guitar small? Balaguer Guitars is probably the one that I would recommend first. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many smaller companies out there, and there's so many like unique and boutique builders out there. So it's hard for me to keep up. It's hard for a lot of people to keep up. But Balaguer would probably be the one I would recommend. Because a lot of people say, like, whenever they watch a Balaguer video, they're like, oh, I never heard of this guitar brand to this day. It's all good, Alan. You wanted to catch me at Columbia. So I wanted to catch you at Columbia, South Carolina. I didn't even play that show. So, good thing you didn't go there. The best of the best metal amp. For the price, PV6505, unfortunately. For, like, best ever, no budget whatsoever. Oh, God, I don't know. Best ever, I don't know, man. I don't know. Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, that's probably what I would pick. But diesel VH4, I don't know. It was an awesome show in San Antonio. Your buddy Johnny invited me, and I'm so glad I went. Oh, awesome. San Antonio. What was San Antonio? I remember Dallas, and then the next night we played in San Antonio. No. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, Johnny. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. We took a picture together. San Antonio. God. At that place with, like, the black lights. Yeah, okay. Texas was a blur. It was Dallas, Corpus Christi, and San Antonio. So, yeah, San Antonio. Fernando from Lions at the Gate came out, too. Yeah, now I remember. It was so great to meet you. I put that picture up on Instagram. Thank you so much. Omega. Oh, dude, the Iridium / Granifier. I forgot about it. Yep. All right. Thank you, Mr. Man. Omega. Powered by Omega. Formerly Iridium, now Granifier. The single best amplifier I've ever had on this channel. One channel. Just insane, gnarly, clean tones. Just straight in. Yeah. Ever thought of doing soundtrack stuff? Always thought your solo stuff has a lot of dynamics. Well, thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. Thank you so much. Michael, Ray, hey, what's up? So, I'll tell you this. I wrote with, like, that in mind, and I'm not just saying that. Like, I wrote with the fact that, like, let's call it how it is. An instrumental guitar album can be very boring very quickly. So you need a lot of moving parts to make it not boring. So I wrote with not necessarily a soundtrack in mind, but with what do I say? I wrote with, like, if I had the ability, if I had unlimited amount of people and or money, I would have a string section, a choir section, noise section, a full-on 5-6 piece band, all, going at the same time. So it's a very huge compliment. Thank you so much. But yeah, would I ever do soundtrack stuff? I'd love to, right? Stereo setup, Omega dual rectifier. There you go. Guilty pleasure song. Finally, it's happened to me right in front of my face. That one. I was just listening to it yesterday. Is YouTube / music my full-time gig? It is. You're looking at me at work right now. Anything by Creed. Yeah, I love Creed. Hello from Finland. All right, everybody. So, hey, I got to wrap this up, unfortunately. My phone is about to die, but also, too, it's getting ready. It's almost dinner time. And I got to go cut the grass as well today. So that's the main reason why I'm getting off. I got to go cut the lawn. But anyway, thank you guys so much for the best stream of this entire channel's career, I guess we'll say, life. Thank you so much. This was the best by far. I'm so thankful of you guys, and let's do this more often, maybe, you know what I mean? So anyway, everybody, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for just being good to me. I'll see you guys soon. Oh yeah, and don't forget to stay metal and stuff. Later.